This is Melissa McGinnis with Ecotopia U Media, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tom Wright. Tom, I had a really interesting question today from a water bottle manufacturer. They called and asked me if I knew, and I said, I don't know, but I know my friend Tom does. This answer to this question. If you, I mean, obviously, we're not proponents of water bottles. I mean, there's a ton of plastic debris and issues amongst that, and you and I understand that most water bottles aren't truly authentically recycled. So, not that I'm being a proponent of this, but if you were a manufacturer of bottled water,
yes,
out of all of the options, whether it's a virgin plastic, recycled plastic content, less plastic,
what's called light weighting,
lightweighting, and or a plant-based plastic, what is the best scenario?
So we can't talk about aluminum cans and glass bottles and
well, we can,
and gable top cartons, which water all comes in all that stuff too.
We can certainly talk about that, but I think that this question is interesting because I'm not sure if we understand if we were to choose a bottle based on the fact that it's potentially recycled plastic. Thinking about it from an upstream point of view, is there just so much energy that goes into actually making that? Is it worth not buying the virgin? Which is out of those options, what's the lesser?
It's a lesser. Yeah, is there a lesser evil? I mean, it's a great question. It's very complicated. I mean, if you take it material at a time, is probably the best way to kind of grasp the issue. Glass is very recyclable. At the same time, it's very heavy and it breaks. So a lot of times, it not just bottled water or whatever your liquid is, glass packaging has that issue that it breaks, and it's heavy. So therefore, it costs more if you ship it far. The reason PET, number one, plastic became so popular with bottled water is because it is relatively light. So let's talk about plastics, for instance. So number one, plastic, PET, is what you see most often. That's on the bottom of this. That's what you would see, is number one on the bottom. This is bottled water, some bottled water. Whether it should be virgin, recycled content, light-weighted, or made from plant-based can be thought of in a couple different ways. One, if the molecules are compatible with other brands' molecules in the same PET package, it would probably be nice if we had higher recycled content. At the same time, we know that Coke had a plant in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and they closed it down a couple years ago. And they closed it down in part, and they were trying to get 10% recycled content into everything. And what they found out is between their big brand of waters is Aquafina, and then or Dasani, excuse me, Pepsi's is Aquafina. So they have Dasani and Aquafina, and then Nestle has a bunch of different brands. In Southern California, Arrowhead would be a Nestle brand. Back in the East, to be Poland Spring and Zephyr Hills. And then there's all these private label brands. And what they found out is the PET wasn't pure PET, wasn't the same PET. So therefore, there was some subtle contamination as they tried to ratchet up the recycled content. So part of the problem with recycled content isn't the idea of recycled content. But that polymers like PET don't act like glass or like aluminum, in which the molecule of glass, if you see a clear flint clear glass, that molecule, there's nothing different about it. If it's brown glass, that's a different molecule, and they don't try to recycle brown glass with clear glass. They try to keep them separate. Okay? So when you see a tinted bottle, for instance, that's PET, that tint is not PET. Okay? And then when you go to recycle it, that tint can be a contaminant.
Right.
You know, so part of getting upstream would be to have some sort of congruence amongst the resin makers of packaging, because then the molecule would stay that molecule, would stay that molecule. You hear what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you could have each generation, because otherwise you're saying almost by definition you're contaminating. Anytime you have recycled content, you're contaminating the plastic. You know, if you don't have the same thing. I'd say that basically I think the state of California wants to pass a law in which all the water bottles in the state of California are at least 10% recycled PET. Why? Because they want to keep the PET in California. They want to create a market for PET in California. This is not stupid, because we're shipping most of our PET to China or away from California.
Right.
So I hope that they can figure out the chemistry, the polymer chemistry upstream, deal with the resin makers, and then hopefully that recycled content can be increased. Arrowhead has some 50% recycled content. There's several brands that have 100% recycled content bottle. Another kind of difference between a virgin and a recycled content PET, when you talk about lightweighting, you can't do that with recycled content. Again, by definition, you have to actually make it a little thicker to avoid. Okay, the lightweighting works really well with virgin. And I don't know if the listeners there have ever grabbed a water bottle and started to crinkle, just from the pressure of their grip. That's when you can tell it's lightweight, when you can actually hear it start to crinkle.
Right.
You can actually hear it, and so that's virgin PET every single time you see that. Now the plant thing, the problem with the plant isn't so much the plant, again, it's the molecule. If it's from sugarcane and it's plant-based PET, number one, then again, chemically, if it's a PET, then it's PET, and it can be recycled as PET. It doesn't matter the source. Now, is it better because it comes from a plant source? I don't know. Then you have to start to ask, how was the plant grown? Yeah, it's a different. That's what I mean about the complexity. You have to ask these other questions. How was the plant grown? What was the labor conditions? That's sort of those kind of questions there, because you're dealing with farming, agriculture. Now, generally speaking, one of the big makers of green PET is Braskem, which is a Brazilian chemical company. And generally speaking, they're creating their resins from using it as a co-product. In other words, they'll squeeze the sugar cane, get the juice out, and from the fiber, they'll extract the feedstock for the polymer.
Now, would that plant-based bottle be recycled or is it composted?
Well, no, if it's done it said specifically PET, so it's recyclable.
Okay.
Can you create clear plastic-looking bottles that are compostable? Sure, you can. But it's so hard to take something that looks like a recycling stream product and then make sure it always gets in a compost stream.
If there's too much confusion.
Right. So if you designed it for composting, it wouldn't be the same molecule. And therefore, again, if the compostable bottle got into the recycling stream, that contaminates the recycling stream.
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
So we need, what did you say? We need to get with the resin makers.
Yeah, we need to get up.
We need to get upstream.
Yeah.
Get upstream.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for this dialogue today, Tom.
Sure.